What was that? That was my best Arthur Fleck laugh impression there. Hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, I gotta be real brief with this. First off, what's going on, y'all? Your boy Darius Gray here, back in for the video. This time, here for a movie review of Joker Folie Deux. Right, it's the sequel to the first Joker movie, the widely successful Joker movie. It was like at that point when it came out, it was like the highest grossing rated R movie of all time. Right, it's not that anymore. This certainly will not be that. So yeah, I have like roughly 40 minutes to sit down here, all right, before I have to go to work. So I'm gonna keep this brief, keep this review very simple and brief. Two things that this movie was not. My thoughts on this movie. You may have heard that this movie was not doing good with the fans or the critics, right? On Rotten Tomatoes, the scores are both in the 30s last time I checked. You know, like if you go online, look at reviews, you might find a minority of people saying that they like this movie and they appreciated it for being different from the first Joker movie, which a lot of people just called a ripoff of Scorsese. Valid or not, the one thing this movie is not is a ripoff of anything. One thing this movie is not is that good. It is not that good of a movie. It is a mess. I Jeez. Okay, what do I begin? I'm gonna have spoilers and non-spoilers in here, right? I'll tell you when the spoilers are gonna happen. I'll probably, if I have time, I'll probably put in a chapter, so like you'll see the non-spoiler section and the spoiler section. Right now, we're starting off non-spoilers, and I have to say, let me start off being positive here. I want to be positive when it comes to this review, right? Because you can already tell I didn't like the movie. Positives, the acting, Joaquin Phoenix, great in this role. He's not getting an Oscar for this one this time, right? He's not. I'd be shocked if he even get nominated for this. But he was great in the role. There's like one specific scene where like he's like really good and like putting on like old timey accents and whatnot, and like it's really good. Lady Gaga was good as. I'm not gonna call her Harley Quinn because she's not Harley Quinn at any point in this movie. Which, you could say in the first movie, Arthur Fleck is not Joker, right? Like, Joaquin is not Joker at any point in the movie until the end of the movie, right? Which is fair. I won't even say, like, you can't even say that for this. You can't say that Lady Gaga isn't Harley Quinn for most of it and then becomes Harley Quinn at the end. It just doesn't happen. Her name is not even Harley, I think. It's like, her name's like Lee. Her name is Lee in this. I don't think they even call her Harley Quinn. They don't even say the word Harley Quinn. They might say Harleen Quinzel. I don't know if that's like her actual name or not, but she went by Lee. But I thought she did good for what she was given, which, in the grand scheme of things, wasn't a ton. Like, it feels like her character, the classic portrayal of Harley Quinn is like this, this woman who's mad in love with the Joker, and, is his sidekick, his henchwoman, very dependent on him, and she has to go through that process of breaking free from that. They have the part in here where, like, she's very obsessed with him. And that's just kind of her whole character, is just that she's obsessed with him. And, like, everything she does is in service of him, or, like, it revolves around him. You get nothing from her in terms of, like, real backstory or character. All it is that she's crazy, she's obsessed with him, she's in love with him, she wants to be with him, and they're just going to cause some chaos. It's, like, it's very paint by numbers. I guess when I said this movie was not simple, it is simple in some parts. When it comes to Harley, it's very simple. There's nothing. There's not a whole lot there, right? I feel like they kind of underutilized Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn, which I thought could be something good because Lady Gaga has proven herself to be a pretty damn good actress, right? It's just unfortunate that pretty much ever since A Star Was Born, the movies she's been in have kind of like you see where they head, right? Another thing that was good, the music. The score, not the music, the musical parts and the singing, all that stuff. No, that's not in the good category. It's the score. I forgot the name of the guy who did the score. He's the guy. I think he won an Oscar for the score for Joker 1. Great music choices, great score choices. When it comes to scenes, building tension and stuff, he's a master at it, right? The film is shot pretty well. There's some good cinematography moments. Although there's some moments from the trailers that just aren't in the movie at all. I guess you could say this is kind of a spoiler, but like, and I think it was the very first trailer, like they show at the end where like she's on one side of the glass, he's on another. I think it's like prison, visitation or whatever, and like she puts the lipstick on the glass, and then like he puts his face in frame with the lipstick in the form of a smile, and then he smiles, and it's like that's not even in the movie. That's not even in the movie. Unless I missed it when I went to the bathroom, but I'm pretty sure when I went to the bathroom they were singing. And that leads me to the negatives. The musical aspect of this. It's not good. It's not great. It worked for maybe the first two times that they had characters sing. They had Joker and Harley, like the first two songs. It worked maybe those first two times. Every time after that, I just couldn't help but roll my eyes and like go like, oh, great, slumped in my seat. I was wearing a hoodie, I put the hoodie over my head. I'm just like, oh my god. And it could be down to the fact that I'm not a musical guy that much. I feel like when it comes to musicals, my love of musicals began in Disney animation aside. Right, Disney animated movies and stuff that deals with songs often, right? Those aside, your classics, your Lion Kings, your Aladdins, and so on and so forth. Even some of the more recent ones like what was it, Encanto with the We Don't Talk About Bruno stuff. That stuff was cool, But I feel like my real love of musicals began and ended with High School Musical, like that trilogy. I can go back and watch those any day of the week. Maybe it's just nostalgia because I grew up with them. I can go watch those movies and sing along with the songs. Even something like Camp Rock. Again, Disney, right? But every time the musical parts happened in this film, it got in the way. Like it would always happen when like two characters are talking and like so they ask the character a question. Like they're getting some real good dialogue going and like they're waiting for the character to respond. And instead of responding, they break out in the song. And I'm just like, we were getting somewhere, we were going somewhere, and then you started singing. And like the singing at that, it was mostly just like kind of like, Corey, do you want to build a snowman? Just kind of like low, not even like really, really singing. There are for some songs, but it just didn't work. The plot, the pacing, all over the place. A huge chunk of this movie is the trial, and Harvey Dent is in this, which isn't a spoiler because I believe he's in the trailers, but I think the actor did a good job. It's just like the actor they cast looks like a child. I'm just like, that's Harvey Dent. But like the trial scene started off kind of captivating, and then it lost me. It was like, okay, we're just kind of really just trotting along here, and then it got interesting again. More later when it comes to that, spoilerish. It got interesting again for like one section, and then immediately after, I'm just like, okay, we're back. That's just like, what are we doing here? Like I'm looking at my watch. At one point, I looked at my watch. We were only like an hour, 30 minutes in. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I got real bored. Like this movie didn't have enough to keep me really engaged. And the biggest sin of this movie is not even the musical. It's not even the parts where it was boring. The biggest sin of the movie is the fact that the character of Arthur Fleck goes through such character regression that I felt like I was wasting my time. I walked out of the theater thinking, what was the point? By the end of the movie, the ending, which is terrible, if you probably heard that the ending was terrible, it's bad. By the end of the movie, it was fading out or whatever. I got up, I was like, okay, I was already down the stairs leaving, and I was just thinking to myself, what was the point? What was the point? This movie, it shouldn't have been made. We know this movie was only made because the first one made $1 billion, and they probably backed up the Brinks trucks to Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix and like, let's do this thing again. And it just kind of feels that way. Like I feel like this movie, like the first movie, very much had a message on mental health and in society and stuff, and it felt like this movie was trying to have another message about sensationalism, like that's a real focus, right? Or at least it was attempting to be, but it just lost its way. Like Gotham City, it's lost its way. So yeah, this movie, I give it like I give it like a 2 out of 5, maybe a 1.5 out of 5. I'm waffling between a 1.5 and a 2 out of 5. Spoiler begins now. This is not going to be very long, but the spoilers begin right now. Again, timestamp is going to be there. We're talking spoilers right now. I'll just jump straight to the ending. Arthur gets stabbed in prison by another inmate who I guess was like a fan of his, and then like Arthur goes through this stupid journey throughout the movie, where he's just like, I'm not like the basis of the trial of like his defense is that, oh, Arthur's one personality, Joker's a split another personality. It's a split personality issue, right? They try to go for he's crazy. And Arthur himself has to go through that journey. He's just like, of being Joker, and then he's like, I'm not Joker. And it's when he says that he's not Joker that Harley, on her Black Cat shit, like, like in the comics, Black Cat was like for a while like in love with Spider-Man, and then once she found out he was Peter Parker, she didn't like Peter Parker, but she liked Spider-Man. It's that stupid shit here with Harley. It's just like she's in love with Joker, but she's not in love with Arthur. And like at the end of the first movie, when all the chaos happens, right? Joker gets broken out when he's getting transport after he shoots Murray. The car smashes, the ambulance smashes into him, and his supporters, they rally around him and save him. He gets in the car, he does the whole thing, with the blood in the lips. And that part of the movie, it really felt like, in that first film, that he'd finally become Joker, right? But when you get to this movie, he's just back to being Arthur. It felt like he did not become Joker. It really did feel like Joker, it was two different people. Because, like, I went into this movie hoping and expecting that we can get like a Joker and Harley Quinn tale, and it just really isn't. It's Arthur and Lee. But by the end of it, I just really felt like it wasted my time. And the ending, he gets stabbed to death by a fellow inmate at Arkham who, much like Lee, was very much into the idea of him being the Joker and loved it and supported him. But then when he said on live TV during the trial that he's not Joker, he's just Arthur Fleck, dude's like, you know what? I'm going to stab you. And he says the line that Joker said to Murray, you get what you effing deserve. And then he stabs him, and Joker bleeds out. Arthur bleeds out, and that's the end. Arthur's dead. I'm not even going to call him Joker anymore, because he's not. This movie should have been called Arthur Folie. This is just, it was a complete waste of time. Like, the best part of the movie was when Arthur, as Joker now, like, he has the full swagger of Joker and everything. Like, he represents himself in court, and it's really entertaining, really good stuff from Joaquin Phoenix. But that was like the most Joker we got in that scene. It's like any other time you see him with the makeup and stuff on, it's during the musical scenes that are taking place in a reality that doesn't exist with him and Harley and stuff, and the singing. And his movie was a mess. It was a real mess. I'm trying to see whether like spoiler things I can really touch on. Oh, you know what they didn't touch on, which was, I thought, stupid? You know how big Thomas Wayne was? Like, Thomas Wayne was a big part of the first movie, right? They went through the whole thing where he thought he was his dad, and the mom was lying to him and all that stuff, and then he goes and meets Bruce. Thomas Wayne punches him in the face for touching his kid and stuff, like. And then at the end of the movie, of course, the pearls, the Waynes get shot, pearls snatched all on the floor. Bruce is traumatized. You think with how much of an emphasis they put on Thomas Wayne in that first movie, it would have been a big thing, right? The fact that the Waynes got murdered in an alleyway because of what Joker did, because he incited it. None of that. It's like it didn't even happen. Like it feels like Todd Phillips didn't even want you to remember that it happened. It felt like Todd Phillips didn't want you to remember that a lot of the first movie happened in certain ways, and that it's such a character regression. Like it almost feels like between that and the way it ended, it felt like Todd Phillips is looking at the fans and being like, "Oh, you loved the first one, right? You loved the first one. Here you go, right?" He's like, "You weren't supposed to love it, or like you weren't supposed to like Arthur or Joker, or whatever." This movie, it's real dumb. It's a mess. Like there's something. I feel like there's something there. Like there's a good movie in here, but it doesn't really hit it, and it's a shame because the first one, I love the first one. Like the first one's probably a top 5 DC movie for me. But I almost feel like this is dragging down the first movie. I almost feel like this is dragging down, after that first movie, a lot of people were saying, Joaquin Phoenix, potentially a better Joker than Heath Ledger. I was not one of those people, and I'm definitely not one of those people. Like, when it comes to live-action Jokers, we know overall Joker, Mark Hamill's the GOAT. There's no disputing that. When it comes to live-action Jokers, it's Heath Ledger. Now it's Jack Nicholson to me. Like, Joaquin has slipped down underneath Jack Nicholson to where it's Heath, it's Jack, then it's Joaquin, because Joaquin's not even really Joker, But even then, him not really being Joker makes him a better Joker than Jared Leto, that's for sure. But yeah, this movie's a mess. I would recommend it. only for you to see it for yourself. Because again, some people have found it, some people have liked it. Some people like the fact that it's not just a Scorsese ripoff. Good for you. I'm not one of those people. I didn't feel that. I just felt like I had my entire time wasted. So if you want to go watch it, right? If you want to go watch it, my final thoughts. If you want to go watch this film, go see it for yourself. But I would not recommend it. Like if I was talking to a friend and he was like, "Hey, should I go see this Joker movie?" I would honestly be like, "Did you like the first one?" If the answer is yes, don't go see it. That's just my thoughts on the whole thing. But let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. What did you think of Joker Folie? If you've seen it, drop your ratings in the comments down below. Make sure you do me a favor, man. Hit the like button. Helps out a lot. Hit the subscribe button as well. And the notify bell so you know every time I upload a new video or go live. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.